Hello everyone, so I just finished playing Scorn on Xbox Game Pass through my PC, so of course you'll find this game on Xbox Series X, S, or through PC if you have the Game Pass extension. So Scorn is a game that it was very, very long in the making. I've been waiting for it for about 6 years. I've seen lots of people say they've been waiting for it for 8 to 10 years, so it has been in a bit of development hell, but we finally have it here. It comes from the works and inspired by the works and visual style of H.R. Geiger, who, as you may know, did the xenomorphs for Alien. So there is a lot of really cool art style and whatnot that comes into this game. But it's a first-person biopunk survival horror slash first-person shooter slash puzzle game developed by Sturbian developer EBB Software. And yeah, I was able to beat this campaign in about 4 to 5-ish hours. So yes, without further ado, let me get into a review for Scorn. So within this game, you control a humanoid lost in a very nightmarish world filled with odd creatures and living techno-organic structures composed of machines, flesh, blood, and bone, really. And over the course of the game, you explore different interconnected regions in a very non-linear fashion and non-linear interconnected regions, searching for answers that will explain more about the game's world, the stories, why humanity has gone down this path. It's basically split between exploration, puzzles, and combats, the world. And the exploration involves, again, too, just you need to do a lot of puzzles in a very non-linear fashion to just progress throughout the world. And the combat presents you with very like biomechanical weapons that partly help you solve the puzzles within the world, and of course too will help you kill these very nightmarish creatures that you have to fight. So really the main draw of this game, and really what kept me playing for the most of it, is of course the art style. This game has some very, very great graphics, but the thing that really brings it home is just the art style, the designs of all the buildings, the world, the people, the creatures, all of that are extremely unique. You're never going to see anything like this really anywhere else, even though it's kind of, again, too, inspired by the works of these artists. It is something truly unique, and just again too, the style of this game is something completely unique that you're not going to find anywhere else. It is bloody, disgusting, and disturbing, and extremely morbid, but just the way that they're able to shape the world is so believable and nightmarish that I've already had a few nightmares about it between the days that I've been playing this game. Yeah, it is just very, very, very cool. Everything from, again, the creatures, the puzzle designs themselves, just how nightmarishly body horror this game is. Again, too, you're basically in these structures that are powered off of human suffering in a sense. The story, and again too, just the exploration in this game is never told to you. You're just thrown in on a whim, and nothing is spoken. There's no dialogue, no nothing that is, again, just pointed to you, told to you at all. You're just very savagely thrown into this world, and you have to explore. So when it comes to this story, I'm still not quite certain how, again, people ended up here, but with the title of the game, Scorn is definitely the case where it is just a very horror-filled world, and I'm going to definitely need someone a lot smarter than me on YouTube and whatnot to explain the events of this game, the world of this game, the story of this game, the ending of this game, and a lot of things. Yeah, so it's definitely something that I don't think playing it over and over again is going to be what unlocks that knowledge for you. I feel like it's something somewhat like someone from the inside who made this game, things like that, are going to have to explain a little bit more for people to actually get it. Which, I mean, I kind of like that storytelling in a sense. It's not my most favorite thing in the world, but I think from software, so games like Bloodborne, Elden Ring, things like that, where you can actually find text and whatnot that'll explain the story for you, are very, very well done. But there's just not really any of that, unless I missed completely all of it throughout my playthrough. The story isn't told to you in any way or sense throughout the entirety of the game. But yes, truly, what kept me playing was the art style because I just wanted to see how this world was going to evolve. The puzzles are very, very fun and very, very intricate. They can get really tedious at times and just sometimes overly complicated because, again, too, they just don't really tell you what you're supposed to be looking for. It involves a lot of just endless exploration that doesn't really feel all too rewarding by the end of it. Again, the name of the game is Scorn, so I don't think any of it is really supposed to be. But it doesn't really give you a sense of accomplishment or pride when you go through these puzzles. When you see the solutions of them, they all feel very, very easy. It's just you have to walk and explore and do so many things in order to actually just again do a task that is really simple in the end task of things. So again, too, like it can feel very, very tedious, but the puzzles again too are very fun to do, and they're really, really cool. Again, how they just shape and control the world that it's in, just the way that they're connected to again progressing through the world is something that I found very, very great. And again, too, just being able to see that beautiful art style transform through the puzzles is what kept me through this game because the combat definitely didn't. I'll get into that in a little bit, but the puzzles involve, again, just a lot of very morbid situations that some of them are very, very hard, but you're able to get through them decently if you just stick to it and you're okay with some of the tedious tasks. Just keep on challenging yourself to figure out how, again, just do all these puzzles and whatnot are going to work, all this exploration and whatnot is going to work. That's very, very morbid in the sense that you can finish the puzzles actually in a variety of different ways that will either be very morbid or just take you longer if you don't want to go down kind of that path. I don't think any of it changes the ending of this game, but there's points where you'll have other suffering beings that you have to make suffer more in order for you to keep on going through the world, and it is very bloody, disgusting, disturbing. This is definitely one again, body horror is the way to do it. It almost feels like you're playing a Cronenberg movie a lot of the times. So it is very, very disturbing and disgusting. But I've definitely seen worse in video games. But just the fact that it almost seems like everyone is almost innocent in a way, and you're the one causing all this more suffering is definitely hitting the heartstrings a little bit and making you feel horrible about the things that you're doing. Again, too, I'm gonna have to read a little bit more into the lore to figure out if that is actually the case, but you do not do a lot of good things in this game. The game doesn't necessarily haunt you for it, it's almost like your own conscience that'll do it on its own, but very, very good. But yes, when we get into the combat of it, again, too, the items that you get solving the puzzles are your weapons too. So you'll have almost like in No Country for Old Men, there's that one the gun that the guy has that's basically like the cattle prod that'll shoot the little hook into the people's heads. You have something really similar to that, which will go into certain types of puzzles and you turn them around. But it's basically like again one of those just pressurized puncture gun system, whatever you want to call it, that'll kill a lot of these enemies for you. And there is not a ton of variety in terms of the enemies that you fight in this game. There's I think only 4 different types, and all of them again, your weapons will evolve throughout the game through finding different puzzles and things like that, but the combat is very, very rough. It always looked rough from the trailers, but it is definitely not good, and it's something that maybe shouldn't have been included in this game. I think if it was just puzzles on its own with not really any enemies you have to fight, or if there were any enemies, it's just more of like a stealth thing, this game would have been a lot better for it, because yeah, the combat sucks. It's very clunky. It's very I don't want to say like frame rate was dropping or anything like that, but it was very, very laggy in a sense. It didn't work at all in the sense of just to the programming of it, and again to just the feel of the game itself. It was something very, very rough that should have been excluded from it. And again too, with the enemy variety being very, very not great. And the healing system you have, it is a little more generous than I thought it was at first. I didn't think there was a healing system, so there was a few times where I got to the point where I was being one hit by everything. But the healing system, you find this little blob, this little like bug thing, and you fill up its blood pouches and then you insert them in self, and it's basically a bit of a revive that you give yourself it's okay. There's enough of these little things, enough of these little like refill stations on the walls that you shouldn't have too much of a hard time dying time after time after time after you figure out that again these little bug things are actually your healing because it doesn't tell you that to you at all. But once you figure it out, it's pretty solid. The thing that sucks though is that the checkpoints in this game are absolutely horrid. You die, do anything wrong, or you want to reload a checkpoint because you think you maybe missed something, it's gonna bring you back a long, long time to the start of the puzzles. And like I was kind of getting into a little bit earlier, the puzzles take a long time and they're extremely tedious. So try not to die, or else you're going to be very, very frustrated. Like I got sometimes where I stopped my recordings because I couldn't do it anymore. I can take having to go back to the very beginning, especially too when I didn't have the healing system yet or anything like that. It just made the game feel a lot more rougher than it was supposed to be. Again, too, like this was a very, very tough game to play and get into sometimes, and you can chalk it up to name of the game being Scorn if you want to, but there was a lot of enjoyment that was kind of sucked out of this game within the later hours of it, especially when it got into the combat and just overly complex puzzles and a world that doesn't tell you anything, all for the sense of that you didn't accomplish anything. Just sucked a lot of life out of the game for me. I did feel very disappointed, especially that this game was in development for so dang long. I just felt like it should have been a lot longer. There should have been a lot more to it, in terms of its puzzles, in terms of again evolving the weapons and whatnot that you get through the world. It does evolve really coolly and nicely, but yeah, with the combat sections thrown into it and just again the tediousness of the game, I'm gonna have to give Scorn a 6 out of 10. I still do recommend it if you really want to get into the art style of this game and find a very unique puzzle game that again you're not going to find anywhere else. It is so cool and it could have been something so great. It is fun. I did have a lot of fun with it, and I do again too. It is my recommendation that if you really want, if you can handle again, just a lot of the things that this game is going to throw at you visually and just frustratingly in your head. It is something definitely worth checking out. So if you played Scorn, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Of course, if you like this review, give it a thumbs up, and you can check out everything I do on this channel. I'll link some places up top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing, turn that little ringer on so you know when I upload videos. If you want to check out the description of this video on my channel bio, there's a link to the Medium Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything's awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community, help make it even more amazing than it is already. I'm going to start playing A Plague Tale 2 Requiem this week on Tuesday when it comes out. So definitely tune in or tune back for that. And yeah, just awesome, guys.
Sky blue eyes, I see a world behind them. No more time sinking into the side.